There are essentially three ways to get a hold of your rating code sheet, and we'll talk about why you would want that in the first place. All right. So, way number one is through your accredited rep, whether that's a VSO, an attorney, or an agent. They have access to a system called VBMS, and they're able to get it straight from there. Now, if you are working with the VSO, there's a few things to consider. If it's a VSO rep, first, they might not have VBMS access, so figure that out. That's going to be critical, okay? Most do. And they probably are extremely overworked. So when you reach out to them for your rating code sheet, just keep that as a planning factor. Don't get mad, breathe. These people are humans too, okay? And third, they might be hesitant to download and print this form off and give it to you. There's a lot of PII involved with that, and VSOs are told not to do that, but most will at least show you the form and give you the meat and potatoes of what's on the rating code sheet, which is your static and non-static disabilities. That's the main reason you would want your rating code sheet anyways. Now, the second way is through your regional office. You can Google your regional office, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It is extremely simple. Okay, so here we got Gunny Google. All right, my favorite staffing CEO of all time, Gunny Google. This website knows absolutely everything. Okay, so VA regional offices. I live in Virginia, so I'm going to put Virginia. So there we go. You can scroll down. There's links that you can look at. Okay, I'm going to use the maps. I actually accidentally scrolled in there for a second, and here we go. This is VA regional centers in Virginia. Okay, and so you can use that. There's also regional office website and then Virginia locations that you can look up as well. There you go. Super simple. And the third way is through requesting your C file, which is the infamous claims file. That's what C file stands for. To do that, you're going to have to submit a FOIA request, FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act. And you can fill this out and send it via mail or go in person to drop it off. Now with the C file, really just going up to the regional office I would absolutely call, especially if you live far away. You can see there's not many VA regional offices out there. So if you live far away, just give them a call, double tap on what forms are needed. If you need to bring ID, whatever the case may be, don't waste the trip. Okay. But a C file, I'm going to tell you, is going to take about 6 months. That's probably minimum. We can probably say 5 months is the minimum, 9 months is the maximum. But it's probably going to take 6 months. That's what I've seen as a going rate, just looking at veterans requesting C files. And that's going to give you everything under the sun, including your rating code sheet. So let's talk about the rating code sheet and why you'd want that. And this one kind of bothers me, but whatever. So the main thing will be if your conditions are static or not. Okay, that is the main reason why a veteran would want their rating code sheet. A static condition means your condition is not likely to improve over the span of the veteran's life. So a condition that is not static will be scheduled for a future routine exam or re-examination at some point. The thing that really bothers me about the rating code sheet is you can find this on your decision letter. Your decision letter will state if you have a re-examination coming up, and that can be no less than 2 years and then no more than 5 years, okay? And there's a reason why 5 years is there's a 5-year rule, and we'll get into that. But your decision letter will tell you in plain language. But sure, you can request your rating code sheet if you'd like. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? Now, if you have a condition that isn't static, you need to look at yourself and determine if that condition, whatever it may be, is getting better, worse, or staying the same. More importantly, I'd recommend you make an appointment with your healthcare team, either VA or private, to build the medical evidence, because that will be required if you're going to combat a deduction based on a re-examination. That's going to happen, okay? If you're up for a re-examination, it's going to happen. It's not if. I'm telling you, it's going to happen, all right? The VA is not going to play around. The difference between 100% and 100% P&T, permanent and total, are static conditions. And I'm going to give you the real scoop here. When the OIG absolutely slammed the VA for unwarranted CMP exams, and you'll find that OIG report from 2022, as veterans, we have seen a drastic change in the amount of static disabilities awarded, meaning way more veterans are being awarded with static conditions than they were prior to the OIG report. So there you go, OIG, high five to them. You know, they definitely did work in our favor. But 100% P&T means that your static conditions equal 100%, and that's using VA math. So really, your static conditions must equal 95%. That is how the VA awards 100% P&T versus just 100% scheduler. Okay, if you are in the boat of 100% but not P&T, not permanent and total, figure out what conditions you have that are not static and begin building the evidence. So when, not if, when that day comes and the conditions or condition, one or multiple, are evaluated again, you now have the medical evidence backing you up. Now, keep in mind, and I'm just going to say this, that if your condition improves, then just be honest, right? And for real, you should be happy about that. I understand it's a bit weird, right? Because VA compensation has some serious monetary value there, but at the same time, we only get one life and health is more valuable than anything. But hey, I get it. All right. Now, medical evidence is absolutely king in all VA claim situations. Doesn't matter. If you have conditions that are not static and you don't take the time to seek healthcare and treatment, by the time your exam comes up, you are at the mercy of that CMP examiner. Meaning, whatever it is that the examiner evaluates and determines, there's nothing that you have to combat their evaluation. This is why medical evidence is absolutely critical, especially if you're up for any reevaluations, because it's kind of like the veteran's safety net when it comes to their VA disability claim, assuming your medical evidence supports your claim that your condition has stayed the same or gotten worse. Now, I'm going to show you the reexamination from the VA's 38 CFR, which drives VA's decision-making when it comes to your claim. Now, this is some pretty controversial stuff here, and there's some serious misinformation. So I'm just going to show you straight from the VA's 38 Code of Federal Regulations. There it is, Title 38, bada bing, bada boom. Here we go, reexaminations, okay? You can Google this yourself if you want. Just Google VA reexamination 38 CFR 3.327. Here you go. The first is the general. You can read that if you want. That's fine. I want to show you scheduling reexaminations. You can read that, and it says within not less than 2 years nor more than 5 years. Yes, my camera died. You don't need to see my ugly face. All right. I think you'll be all right. So not less than 2 years, nor not more than 5 years. So your condition cannot be rated again less than 2 years, right? That gives you 2 years to build medical evidence. That's pretty much how I interpret that. But not more than 5 years. The reason there's a 5-year rule there is because that's when the VA determines that the monetary value for your disability has become essentially an effective part of your way of life. Okay, so to take away your disability would be to disrupt your way of life that you've relied on that money in some way, shape, or form. That's where the 5-year rule really comes from. And for reexamination specifically, look at paragraph 2. It says no periodic future examinations. So this is the no paragraph here. Okay, I'm just going to read these out, and it's just a sort of a synopsis of what we've already talked about. All right. No periodic future exams when the disability is established as static. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. All right. There you go. Now, number 2 is my favorite because it talks about this section or other examinations. And this part is critical here. Hospital reports to have persisted without material improvement for a period of 5 years or more. Meaning, my guy, my male veteran or female veteran, whatever, right? Get your dang medical evidence. There's no reason not to. All right. Where the disability from disease is permanent in character. So there we go. Basically saying this that condition is deemed static in itself. And then I always get the 55-year rule. Here we go. Here's the, if you are 55 years old, all right, can the VA take away your rating? It's a little wishy-washy there, but the answer is no, all right? In cases of veterans over 55 years of age, which is no, okay, you will not be re-examined except under unusual circumstances. And this is really referring to like cancers and things that generally, I'm going to say heal with air quotes. You can't see me right now, but go into remission, right? And second to last is when this rating is prescribed scheduled minimum rating. So like a 0% or tinnitus is rated at 10%, it doesn't get lower than 10%. Okay, so whatever that minimum rating is. And then lastly here, and this part's critical too, is if you were to get a re-examination and that condition would go to the lowest rating, right? If the re-examination does not affect your overall rating, so bring you from 90 to 80 or 100 to 90, right? If you're at 90 and you stay at 90, the VA is not going to deal with the re-examination. Now, this all assumes that you will be reduced, but this is just a re-examination. Okay, a future exam, so that exam could determine your condition has stayed the same or gotten worse. And there you go. That is how the VA does re-examinations.